Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Grime Gameplays Disco Elysium. As always, I'm Nutchucks.
Was always browbeat.
So today, we're going to be exploring what happened after the corporate rep for Wild Pines sent us on an investigation about, I believe it was drug smuggling through a different organization. So,
The rumors that the drugs were happening outside this town and through this town, and it was the lorry drivers, especially the racist ones, that contributed.
ooh, what is this? Yes, this
More
is.
you'll earn in all your life, unless you help disperse drugs. If you become a drug dealer, you can definitely buy a boat in a decade.
Oh, maybe. So now we look like oh, what was that over there? Get back over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chucks navigates.
Let's more construction here. Once, decades ago.
If you look at the shape of this aqueduct, is it meant to be a support to jet the building out into the water?
I would say yes. So yeah, I would definitely say that's it. It's supposed to move the building out into the water, but construction stopped probably because of the war that happened.
Very likely. So I was going to ask you, how are your senses if you can project yourself into this environment in terms of desperate, economically depraved shithole?
I would say this would be like the early Weimar Republic right after World War One. You know, or France right after World War One and World War Two. Complete, utter destruction happened to you and your area, and now you're trying to recover from it, and you don't know what to do. So everyone is depressed and bummed out. Why did I go down here? That's not a way out of here.
It's
Um,
not. The
so
way out of here is the gun you're missing.
it is.
Oh, dark. Don't forget the right mouse button can be your friend.
This.
Because now I'm gonna out you a little bit here, Chuck. 'Cause every now and then you pass by things on the ground that were highlighted, but you just didn't register them.
I did not. I did register that though. Whatever the hell that is.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yay, improvement.
There is, I don't think you can see it. We can't see it because our skills won't let us. But
Mm-hmm.
on that wall of that shack there, the pawn shop, is a delightful conversation.
Still cool here,
Huh.
officer.
Let's. Where are you from?
See? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol.
But
Huh.
you're not a local, are you?
Yeah, we've already done the other one.
Very
have.
sharp, officer. I'm Serais from the Sigai province of the Serais Empire. The apricot suzerainty, you know?
Yum, apricots are delicious.
Why is it called that? Lots of apricots there. I've never had an apricot, so I don't know if they're delicious.
Wow,
And
interesting.
I'm gonna say the second one is a blatantly obvious, thing. So
Well, are you saying as a police officer, you never lowball somebody with very easy questions so that they get shaken loose and like change their footing a little bit?
not really. There's no need. Most people are forthcoming normally.
Mm.
Let's go with
Only the
that.
guilty
The
ones lie.
apricot suzerainty is what the Seaguy archipelago is commonly known as in Revachol. It's a bit of a fraught term, I'm sure you understand.
Hmm.
No,
What do you mean?
No, apricots come from Sigai. My grandma used to grow them. But Sigai is a shithole. That's why I came to Revachol. Here's much better for an independent entrepreneur. Less laws.
Ooh.
Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur? I send half my profits back to my grandma in Sigai.
I don't buy it, Sealang.
Well, if it's for his grandma, you should buy a lot of things.
Empathy.
Nope. I'm not too worried about it. What is that?
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Most officers would jump on that.
And sticks them under your nose. Thunk. There you go, Ambrosius.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over
So-
and ask him.
I'm gonna pause it for a second just here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this is still a bug. I'm pretty sure. With this vendor, he's got a couple piles of stuff around him. Every time you interact with one of his wear spots, it's going to talk about paying with net worth. And foreshadowing, that is the response dialogue for one possible mutually exclusive ideological quest you can take on later in the game. So that dialogue should not be here. It doesn't affect anything mechanically right now, but just the idea of paying not with money but net worth should be enough of a thematic setup. Anyway, back to this. Try the shades on.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Gently removes the glasses from your face, setting you free again. Don't tell me what to do, Kim. I like those sunglasses.
You're right. I'm too sensible for those. I feel that is true. If I had sunglasses pinching my nose, rubbing my brows, I'd be pissed off. And I don't wear sunglasses anyway, so let's go with
Are
2.
you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
Let's rummage through the box.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. The kind of plastic that melts in the sun.
That would be terrible.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe
Ooh.
and cool while
Yeah.
doing your dangerous police work.
I definitely need a 12, but let's use the-
Actually, you need an 11 or a 12.
let's
Try again. Maybe find some interesting.
No luck.
Nope, I got an
All you
8.
find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog on its bent cap.
Still, you get an interesting result.
That visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
Turn to the lieutenant. Kim, are firefights something we should be prepared for?
Put the visor back. I'm putting the visor back.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem.
But here's the
Let's get you
thing.
some real shades.
You failed that check, right?
Uh-huh.
You gained an item.
I did.
Do you know what means when you succeed the check?
No.
You either get nothing or you get a different item.
Wow.
Once again, don't be afraid to try a white check. Even if it's a low percentage, the results may surprise you.
All right, well, let's leave for now because there's nothing here.
Oh, but the amphibian sports visor.
Let's go
It's
talk.
such a froggy.
We'll talk to
Talk
some
to who?
lorry drivers. Let's go talk to the
Lord
racist.
driver.
Let's see
Oh,
what the
okay.
racist has to say.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, he's this way.
Do I
Racist.
talk to the racist or Tommy Lome?
Oh, we'll get to them. I want to hear what the racist has to say first.
Fair enough. Always a good source.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
If that's an option.
Let's go with yeah. What are you hauling? You're a lorry man, right? What's your stance on drugs? That's 2 up front. That's 2 up front. So with
Excuse
that,
me, sir. Do you support the drugs?
do you essentially like? Do you support the drugs, sir?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
Wait. How long has this been going on then?
What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick up? Let's ask him what kind of cargo he's supposed to pick up. Apples?
Apples. Fair enough. I got some other questions.
Yeah, apples? I take it you had other questions?
I do.
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
We're not bright enough for this.
We're not. Well, we got to go with 3 now. Let's see what his stance on drugs
What?
are.
They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
He takes a long drag at his cigarette. Ha ha ha! Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector.
What's great about this voice acting performance? I can mentally just see the hand holding the cigarette waving around as he's doing this.
Just
'Cause you've seen that guy. You've talked to that guy in your life. You
yes.
go, oh, yeah, I know you.
Like, you motherfucker.
They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
You make a good point.
There's your in. Take his side in this particular fight.
Oh, thank you, suggestion. I knew it was a good idea to manipulate people. Hold on, but they make Al Ghul, alcohol in Ilmara too. I was told they do.
So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Martinique. Well, what a blunt and straightforward, dumb thing you would say.
Listen, I agree. It's our responsibility to keep this poison off the streets of Revachol, right?
That's all. That's all I needed to know. Now let me ask you something else. I'm gonna go with 1, and the reason why, I want to see what his opinion on the alcohol thing is.
Thank you for voicing your. That's what I want. Please do more of that
I
shit.
don't go for that foreign piss.
Ooh.
Proper booze is made in Mundi. Or sometimes I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koikos and worse much, but they do no booze.
I hate the foreigners, but I like foreign things.
I'm gonna go with 2 now because I want to see what he thinks in the aspect of when we select 2, his opinion on the RCM taking the drugs off the streets, and if he's just like, if he throws up if he goes too much of one way or too much the other way, like, so if he's like, yeah, take those fucking drugs off the streets, it could be a lead on, and if he backs off a little bit, like, oh, well, I don't think it's your responsibility, or he feigns a little bit, then you can see like, hey, he's something's going on. So I want to see what he does here and how this wording comes about.
He eyes you warily, unsure how to respond. This goes on for about 2 seconds. Then,
This makes me suspicious. And essentially what I was getting at. He went too far one way, going like, wait a minute, whoa, like, what are you guys getting involved for?
damn, it didn't work. You should have signaled you're a nationalist before.
You should have chosen the racist option, but you ran like a coward.
I don't know
Because-
shit.
Yeah,
If I did,
I did.
I wouldn't tell you.
And what we have to examine here is that interaction that you had with this person, justifiably you had as a one-time interaction with no expectation of future dealings. So you expressed your firm stance, rather than being a true manipulator, saying, yeah, I'll say whatever you want to hear, buddy. We had no way of knowing. So this one door is shut. Don't worry, it's not the end of our options.
Right.
Then what are you still hanging around here for? Most other communeurs have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking on at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
It is true. I mean, kept kids are hard to see at night.
And ass cancer, that's
There was
tough.
a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know how that happened?
Say nothing. I want to see what he knows about that, so I'm definitely going to go with option 1. I want to pick his brain to see what he knows. Maybe he's hiding something more.
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his luck and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it.
Oh, damn.
Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Bad for him, I guess.
Serves him right. No, you don't want to be an asshole. You want to sympathize, even because if he's
Hang
his
on.
friend.
Yeah.
No, if in this situation we're trying to get information out of somebody, you don't ever, even if they're their friend, you don't say anything bad. You don't do anything. You're like, you're sympathetic. You try to help them and talk to them to get them to give more out. So you want to make them feel sympathetic, and that you're feeling sympathetic for them. Instead of
Good
being
logic.
like, Yeah,
It's a fucking travesty, is what it is.
Well, if it's not you, then who's running drugs through Terminal B?
I'm not gonna ask him that.
You're not gonna ask him that.
Yeah, so here's why. If you say that out loud, and you got a strike going nearby, and you're talking to this guy, and he knows that you're gonna, and you say this, he might not be running drugs, but he knows somebody else who is, and he may not be. He just may be covering for him. So I wouldn't ask that, because then what could happen is while you're trying to investigate, he could leach out to somebody else and say, "Hey, this guy's investigating. He knows somebody that's driving a lorry driver is selling drugs, and you all need to be careful."
Okay, respectable. I like the logic. We'll see if it gives us any advantages.
Now that's just Cop Chucks talking here.
That's fair.
Alright.
Remember, kids, cops are sycophants. They'll say whatever it takes to get the info.
It's
They're
not
your
a
friend.
exactly. It's not illegal for cops to lie, and there's a court case with that upheld that.
Hey, you gotta tell me if you're a cop. Are you a cop?
I do not.
No. No, I'm not. Okay, cool. Glad we got that established. So I'm a cop. Ah!
And people have like, that's entrapment. No, it's not. Let's level up something here. What can we level up?
No. It was stuck on suggestion. Revert. Revert.
Was it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You can raise a stat. You can work with a thought. You can forget a thought if you want to.
We'll leave that alone then.
You can increase that thing that you did that you failed with.
I could have, but we'll leave it alone for now. Let's go exploring. Let's see if we can.
Do you want to stick with lorry drivers, or do you want to go exploring?
Hold on here. Let's
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grod-made machine.
let's go exploring.
Okay. Remember, folks, here at Grime Game, objectives change frequently and suddenly.
They do. Because I'm hoping by exploring, like when I play games, if I explore, I'll find someone to talk to.
That's true. That's fair.
Oh, I forgot to talk to.
So far, you have met about everyone you can meet on the first day.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
You seem to be like a man who knows about drugs.
Would you say that as a cop?
Yes, if I was just shooting the shit with them, but I'm not. If I just come walking up to somebody, you seem like a man who knows about drugs. One, you got two cops there, so it's going to give you some suspicions. Again, you don't want to do that. If you're trying to investigate...
The cops? One of the cops is holding a fucking pry bar.
Oh, yeah, that too. The other one's... The other one, it says he's a lieutenant. So there's two big issues here. If you have two cops coming up, dressed in the way they're dressed, and they just come walking back up to you again after talking to you a couple times, hey, but you seem like a man who knows about drugs. And they haven't been crooked before. They haven't taken anything from you. They've only asked you for a smoke, potentially. This is going to set up some big red flags for him, and you don't know how well these lorry drivers are all communicating with each other, so he might do the same thing.
You also tried to arrest him.
I did.
But you did a really cool verse.
So what we're going to do is ask him anyways, because it's a game, and we're
Yes.
going to see what happens.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Just be straight with him.
Do you finance those other addictions with drug trafficking?
I need to get high, and I'm looking for a dealer.
Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B.
None of these are good questions. As a cop, none of these are good. Because if you go straight forward, you don't go straight forward unless you can make him an informant. And you know he's an informant.
Yeah.
So that would be
That
bad.
is true.
So if you're just like, hey, let me be straight up with you. I'm trying. When you're first. No. One, he's probably not going to trust you. The best. Two. Well, let me go with one first. Do you finance other addictions with drug trafficking? that is going to make it blunt again that you're looking for something and give him red flags, and you may now you've accused him of drug trafficking, and now he's going to be sitting there wanting to hold off any information he gives you. So the best one I can see so far is I need to get high and I'm looking for a dealer. Just maybe I can get into something that he can be like, hey, head this way.
Now, good reasoning. Let me just say though, one of your skills popped off with the check, with some sort of perception, and all these skills are rooted in you and being a cop.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a hint, and you don't have to listen to it. That's the beauty of these things. That just thoughts occur, and you can push them out of the way, and you can go your path. That's cool. But how do you interpret when this game interfaces in such a way that your numbers drop a clue in your lap? Because investigation styles can differ. You can pick two, and it's another thing. But if the option goes with forever, does that cause you any kind of strain, or are you okay with that?
I'd be okay with that. I mean, that's the thing. So, with suggestion, just to be straight up with them.
That is the working people skill.
Yeah, if we are straight up with them, then the issue might become he narcs out to somebody else.
That's a good possibility, because are all of your skills always helpful?
No, not always.
Well, this is how Raphael Cousteau read the guy with his suggestion. You're totally welcome to make your calls. I'm just looking to promote more analytical interaction of how the game is affecting you.
All right, so I'm going to go with it. I'll go with 3.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Wait, then why are you still hanging around?
Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade then? We know why he's still around, so the only option here that I can see is 2.
Sure.
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
Ooh, he's getting pissy.
It's not a lie. It's something else. Impossible to say what at this point, but there's something in him. Some trepidation.
So, one little peek behind the veil. If you want anything out of Tommy Leon, you're gonna have to unlock that white check. But you don't have to. Your empathy is pretty strong. Just it failed that time. And you have a spare point, but you don't have to commit that point now. You've got plenty of room to explore around. But in this particular investigation, it's either you ask the lorry driver that question you don't want to ask him, or you unlock that white check. Or maybe an unknown third option that I just haven't seen yet, but I've seen a lot. Hey, he spotted the dumpster.
I did.
He's going the long way around.
Yeah. Fingerless gloves.
What's that say?
Interfacing. Close.
Gasoline-stained fingerless gloves in navy blue. They've been worn threadbare, but being made of wool still provides some warmth and comfort. Cigarette-stained fingertips, plus 1 electrochemistry. So you have a choice. Well, I mean, situationally. Interfacing or electrochem?
Let's go electrochemistry.
Okay. But I thought you didn't like doing drugs on the job.
I don't.
Oh man, Salami Man left.
Salami Man did leave, that bastard.
Time passes, dude. Things change.
Leaving while we're working. That man. Let's get back in the whirling rags and let's see what's going on.
Okay.
That's some good tip to know. Who's this guy?
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
An hour?
2 hours.
Pretty long. It's drink o'clock.
Not now. Not now.
I'm working.
Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime. Maybe who cares? Just rum.
Maybe I should lick it before I go?
Finish the thought. We're going to finish the thought and just walk away.
I mean, you just upped Electrochem. It's your fault.
I did. It's all about the
Yeah.
money, you know.
So, what you didn't get to see or do is Kim is with you, and if you give in, you have a few degrees of what you can do. Hold on, before I click that.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to lick it. And Kim asks, "What are you doing?" And one of your possible responses is, "Investigating." Just picture the guy licking the counter. And this is police work.
If you did that in the middle of a police investigation and with anything that might be evidence or you're trying to investigate, you would be made fun of and taken off the job instantly.
Hey man, I've seen Training Day. I know you can roll while investigating.
Dishes are drying. The smell of chemicals and pine trees.
Okay, this might be good. Let's see what you do.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. It must be his name. Garancy. Garancy Kubek. Sounds representative.
Ah, Goransi. Have some questions to ask.
Mr. Kubek, I'm here on official police business.
Hello, sir. Got time for a few questions?
Ignore him. I'm going with 3, just for the fact that we don't actually know if that's his name, and on top
You
of that,
think so? You certainly think so.
we think so, and I will say the game makes us, and our character would say that. We haven't gone with I'm here for official police business. I'm trying to go about it how an actual officer would go through asking questions. So I'm trying to, since he's been blackout drunk, maybe I'm trying to play him as like, oh shit, now I remember what I'm kind of doing somewhat.
Okay.
So let's go
The
there.
man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
You've got some impressive pots there.
I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Let's go with number 1.
You would actually ask that? Okay.
Yes, because I want to keep talking to him, but I also want to try to figure out if we can breach the gap. I've had something like this happen, except they weren't speaking a foreign language. They were deaf, and they were just yelling loud sounds.
The good old Henry Rollins train story, where he got to relate to a old Russian grandma. She was offering different breakfast items, and they had found middle ground by miming cows going moo with cow horns with their fingers by their head. And then she made clucking chicken sounds. So yeah, language can be transcended by imitating animals.
And anything else that you need to.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Acknowledged, they are nice.
All right, looks like the only thing we could do is leave.
So I've never failed that logic check before.
Mm-hmm.
And on success, it prompts you to say, whatever you say, don't call him Goransi Kubik. So instead, your dialogue option is, "We speak Revacholian in this country, sir." And of course, I hear it as Guy Pearce's voice in my mind. And Kim is very quick to point out that Revacholian is not a language. We speak the following language. What is wrong with you? But you can just jump down the road. And funny enough, that was when I triggered my Revacholian nationhood thought. And that was a good one. There are still many, many golden mines in this game. What's in that jar? Hey, Goransi's money.
Take his tips. Take his tips.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
Touch the door.
Try to push on the door.
I wonder where this door leads.
I'll be back, door. Mark my words. Well, we don't know. Why were we going to come back? So let's try two. Let's see where this door leads. You want to see if there's an escape or entrance for the person who may have killed that man that was hanging up in the back. So he may have come through the window.
That's some good ass thinking.
The door does not budge.
Now we want to. We can't get the door to budge, so we need to know.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
I am drawn to its cobalt blue.
That's part of the whirling in rags. There's something about this place that makes me want to know.
Out of duty, we may find something pertinent to the investigation.
You're right. It's not important. Let's go. Definitely
Eh.
3.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, Mr.
Yes.
Law.
I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation.
Yes. A mini side investigation.
No, this door is a mega investigation.
The door and the main investigation will merge into a stereo investigation.
I want to do 3 so bad because I feel that's what he would say.
So do it. unless it fights your heart. Like, no, cop.
It does. It does so bad, but I gotta
If
know.
you say so. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
I'm
The
gonna touch the
cobalt
door.
blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side.
Although in the key art, it is not. If you zoom in,
Yeah, it's back.
it's recessed. It's not flush. But still, doesn't matter. Who cares about plumb and square?
Can I help you?
So, about the money I owe.
I've seen something here at the Whirling Rags, Gart. A thing I need to talk about.
By the way, I'm going to sing karaoke here.
Goodbye. We're gonna go with 2.
What thing?
I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
There's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen.
There's something else I want to ask about.
Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Do you know what's behind it? Do you have...
Okay, then, never mind.
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
Runs his finger across the counter to check for dirt.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
I think you would like to know what's back there.
Let him get to pretend he's indifferent. I'm going with
Okay.
1.
Okay.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
I wonder how you would feel if in real life there were a possibility to entrap someone in a question loop because you've got them due to social contract. They have to talk to you if you're an authority figure or something. You
Mhm.
say, I want to ask you about on this topic. Okay, what do you want to ask? There's something else I want to ask about. Okay, what do you want to ask about? This one topic I brought up? Let's talk about that. Fine, let's talk about it. Actually, there's something else. I was like, what the fuck?
That is potentially possible.
Yes, have you got it?
How much do I owe you again?
Actually, let's talk about something else. I can't
A
remember.
lot. For the room and broken window, 100 real. Like what?
That is a
I'm
lot.
Really enjoying talking about the money you owe me.
but no, I don't want to talk about that. Bucko. You're not gonna prompt the karaoke?
Oh yeah, I do. By the way, I'm going to see karaoke here.
Absolutely out of the question.
Oh no, sir, it is not.
You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
All right.
Where do you want to go next?
I want to find out where the hell the world. I wonder if old Chickadee's upstairs. She's finally out of her room, or she's still taking a shower 6.5 hours later.
Hey, man. If the water never gets cold, why get out?
That's a good point. Well, besides it boil your skin and melt your skin off over time.
I didn't say boiling hot.
You didn't.
Maybe she likes being a skeleton.
I got a pry bar now.
The door is
Fucking
locked.
bitch!
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. As you hold the metal, you sense the warmth left there by her hand.
Welcome back, electrochemistry. We didn't see that
Still
before.
nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. He doesn't like where this is going.
We need to suppress
The
there.
murmur
Just
in your ears recedes slowly. Your breathing normalizes. That's one lucky door.
It's 4 in the afternoon. Let's go back in our room.
Tries
He
not to look.
also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore.
You're looking at the destruction?
I'm sorry for this.
I did it. My way.
This is where the magic happens.
Say nothing. Nod stoically.
I feel like we have to quote. When you have a Sinatra quote, you have to do it.
I can see that.
He takes a step towards the door. It looks like he'd like to leave now. The atmosphere is oppressive.
What's on the couch?
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
Oh, we gotta leave.
What about the fan?
Oh, I forgot about the fan. Oh, can we get the...
This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. Or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend.
You can't
and
get...
wants to reattach itself to your neck. So
Yeah, we
you
tried
may
that on day one and we
continue your
died.
adventures together
We did.
in this strange world.
That's okay. If ever you should find yourself with a bunch of spare points, you can always improve your savoir-faire.
May have to. Can't go on that one. All right, let's go downstairs. We're gonna have to get out of the whirling rags. Maybe we can talk to the wheelchair lady.
Yeah, certainly can. Yeah. Lynette, I think.
I don't remember her name. Wheelchair lady sounds pretty good.
Which really sounds the third party member.
This has now become a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. What do they call you? Wheels?
Hello again, sweetie. I see you've met up with your colleague.
The lieutenant nods politely.
Oh god, we haven't talked to her at all since the accident.
Wait,
Interesting.
who's Sweetie? She is appraising you scientifically, the way she would an exceptional zoological specimen. It's not like that.
Who's Sweetie?
Does that mean you like me?
Leave.
Why, you are, officer.
I'm no Sweetie. Look at me.
Maybe I am. Yeah, no, number one.
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Dimple or not, I'm a bitter man. The years have taken their toll.
That stupid Dimple has only brought me suffering.
I don't want to talk about the dimple anymore. You always,
You
you
must
gotta.
forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
He slaps herself on the forehead.
You go with the one being polite because you want to talk to people to find out some things. So that's why as an officer, even if you are a
Hang on.
jackass, you try
Hang
to be
on.
polite.
That is completely sensible, and you're right. But I need you to understand that this is one of those rare situations, and the tip even tells you you can go nuts and it could still go places because something we didn't do. You can walk around pantsless. You
Oh
can
yeah.
do that. And the game says, listen, no one's going to call you out on it, so I'm just telling you, you can do this, but you're only hurting yourself. So I appreciate the role playing to try and kind of be a police officer. It's not the most satisfying in this particular opportunity space, but then again, nobody said he couldn't play the game again
Good point.
completely differently. So don't worry. I might cringe and howl at your choices, but I'm curious to see where they go because you sometimes pick things I didn't, and I'm delighted to see what happens anyway. It's all good.
I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Notice the thumb twiddling animation she has.
Oh yeah.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
I wasn't kidding. You seem to be in a chair.
How'd you like to roll with me?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything.
Are you okay? I'm very sorry I crashed into you earlier. I don't know what what got into me.
Sweetie needs money. Do sweeties get money?
I've got to get going.
You got a lot of options here, and I don't. I could tell you one way, but you do you.
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchaired partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Roll us some cigarettes. I'm jonesing for a smoke.
Nothing. I was thinking of the lyrics to a song. Want to roll with me?
That is the lyrics to a song.
Sequence killers? Oh my.
Going
But I
one.
think you already have a partner, sweetie.
And the reason I went one is that it's I keep juggling between what I think I would do and what he would do, and in that instance, I went with what I think he would say and do, and I think that would make a better story.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Him, of course. I forgot I had you.
I know, but there's also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into the paranatural.
You're probably right, Kim. And, once again, just gonna bring up the guy who's not in the room. The detective's actual fucking partner is Jean Vicmaire. Like, oh man, I love my new friends. Just howls of agony from the distance. Ah!
All right.
I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I
Trust you.
wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Why? 3 heads are better than 2.
You're probably right. I'm going with one.
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time.
At one point in the game's production process, you could totally put it in your party.
Really?
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Okay, there's one thing I'm going to ask you to do
Mm-hmm.
with her
Yeah.
that will be, you're going to be in a position to do something about it later, but if you don't pick it up now, you probably won't at all.
Okay.
So I need you to tell her that you don't remember
Hello
anything.
again, sweetie. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
Rise, follow your movements with some concern.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
I drank so hard, I forgot literally everything.
I hope you're right. I hope it's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm blowing this whole thing out of proportion. Forget I said anything.
We're gonna be honest with her. I drank so hard I forgot literally everything.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
The Whirling in Rags cafeteria? It was on my keys.
We're in Revachol,
I don't really know. Some seedy hotel?
a war zone at the edge of the world.
We're dead. Haunting each other. We're ghosts.
I'm going with 2 because that seems.
That's reasonable. That's very reasonable. But she won't judge you no matter what you say.
Then we're going with the last one.
Now.
She tilts her head as she looks up at you with maternal solicitude.
We are live in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags. And the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know diddly squat about Revachol. What kind of place is this? We're going to. I just feel like this is more him.
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I.
No, we saw of it.
I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days.
There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost.
Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
It's the spring of 51.
Sure, it's the year 973.
All I know is we are approaching the end times.
It's a bad year in my late 40s or 50s. I don't even know how old I am.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
You're not going to tell her about the end times.
I would love to, but I think this would be.
There. The year is 51, and spring has only just started. I'm sure there are better days ahead.
I was hoping for better commentary than that. Damn.
The
Well.
lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Welcome to the politics menu. Some kind of democracy, maybe?
I'd like to think it's a dictatorship of the proletariat, but something tells me it's not.
Our leaders are fierce warriors who traverse the plains on steeds. Civilization cowers before us.
We are governed by intelligent machines that perform calculations to determine the freest market. Everyone hustles and grinds like a badass visionary.
Radios are being used to control people's minds and distort our perceptions of reality, concealing our true masters, foreigners and women.
Cop. We are living under a cop regime.
I like 5.
Yeah, I'm going with that one.
Oh,
That's the Alex Jones.
Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no matriarchy.
Before you click,
Mm-hmm.
the term zone of control, does that scale with you, with our current reality at all?
Essentially, this is a debuffering zone, and these are the people that are left.
How do you feel about U.S. territory?
I can see that too, yeah.
Like, you have no government. You got Papa Sam over there. He doesn't give a shit about you, but you're his.
Essentially. I mean, but that's the thing, though. Any foreign country territory that the U.S. owns, like, we own it, but you're your own. You have your own government. You're just not part of the U.S. government.
You have your own government that has to subscribe to our particular operations manual and perform within a certain set of boundaries to our quality controls. And no, you can't have any more money.
That's not how the Philippines operate, or the Virgin Islands, or Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is trying to become a state, though, so that's slightly different. Guam is slightly different. The same aspect of Puerto Rico, Philippines, and so is American Samoa.
On paper, yes. If you ask people who live there that are not in political office, not how it feels. But this is a fictional reality. This has nothing to do with that, right? Video games.
Yeah, true. Let's see, y'all. Let's continue.
She's trying to avoid the foreigner's part. This is because she's a woman. She may be lying to you.
Here, here, Durance. If there's no government, how come there are cops?
I don't even know what to say. I'm so disappointed. I'm slightly curious. How come there are cops if there's no government?
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
So, how'd I do?
What is the revolution you mentioned?
Who could tell me more?
Yeah, let me, we're going with 3.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
Do you want to beg her for money?
No.
Okay. If you want to leave, this is okay spot to leave.
See,
And I will say that some of the pacing of her responses, avoiding her on the way out is less common, so it feels like you've gotten some clues about info elsewhere. So I will ask you
mhm.
to go talk to Joyce sooner rather than later for a specific result. Yeah, you're not obligated to. You don't have to do that,
Which one's
but that would give you maximum payoff for future exploration.
Hello again, officer.
which one's Joyce? Is that the boat lady?
That's the boat lady. I know it's a little bit of direction giving, but this is just so you can have one more utility in your belt as you continue to explore the world and do stuff.
I getcha.
The reasoning being, you have now opened up a chain of events where you confess to someone that you're just lost in this reality. And by chasing the answers, you could get a new realization.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
We're mostly focusing on 7 at the moment.
Yeah.
This reality.
It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
No time to explain. Just give me the lowdown.
Actually, now is not a good time for a reality lowdown. Maybe later.
We're going 1 because I feel like that's what we need to do.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He
Ah.
only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away,
I think so.
officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly.
Worldly. Tell me about the world. Where are we?
What times are these?
What is this acute encephalopathy?
Esprit de Corps? Legendary 14. What is? Think of something close to you.
Who are you?
What is this? Spread your hands.
Conceptualization. Impossible. What is? Reach for something fundamental.
That's all for now.
I think the mechanical one, all this is interesting. All this is good stuff. The mechanical one, I believe, is number 6, but we can get there in whatever order you want. Including not now. You can always back out.
Let's go with this
These
first one.
are unimportant times, detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
Got it. Another question then. They're going 1 because I'm too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. Whoa, what's the big time?
The revolution.
Ha! And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
How do you feel about that statement?
I feel that it's true, mainly about the Europeans in the early 1900s, 18, 18 to
17,
1900s.
16, 15, 14,
Yeah,
all literally.
yeah, from about the age of exploration to about up until World War II. I feel like that is how the political system worked in Europe. Everybody was just offing each other, just trying to throw in new regimes or killing somebody or killing a brother. For mineral rights or areas in certain parts of the world, whatever they could do to get money. That sounds about right.
So would you say that the trouble the U.S. is facing is that in Europe, everyone had neighbors they disagreed with, and they struggled, whereas when people came here from the West, they succeeded in killing the neighbors, and now the urge to fight your neighbors is there, but there's no real enemy, so you just invent new ones.
That sounds about right.
And it's too new of a country to form truly distinct neighbors. All right, politics. You gotta love it. Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Who got shot in the head?
Who got the mineral rights?
When was this kerfuffle?
That's enough about the times.
Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
Damn.
She's not gloated. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle.
That's a tragedy.
Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then.
This does not represent the official RCM opinion.
Don't
I'm kind
worry.
of disappointed you didn't go for the apes.
Kras Mazov shot 15 million people in the head.
Oh
That
shit.
was all the way over in Grad.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew.
Monarchies are confusing.
Yes.
The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Smart king.
Sounds like Wilhelm. I'm out, bitches. You guys take over. Don't kill me.
I can see where this is going.
Cowardly
Your line,
king.
sir?
Yep.
I loved that king. Fucking communists.
I don't care about kings. Tell me one more thing. That's a smart king.
Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Frisell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Would you say it was a bunch?
Well,
Yeah.
of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No, I would say the apes were neutral.
She looks at you, her gaze sharp. Sounds like evil to me.
Okay. Neutral.
They're good apes, actually.
On the other hand,
She turns north to the bombed-out buildings lining the waterfront and shivers slightly. Her own shivers check just triggered.
No, the tiny apes are doing all they can to be better. It's not their fault.
Aw, man. Thank you, moralism.
Who got the mineral
liberals
rights?
got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
How did the liberals win it all?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the Ultras, or Ultra-Liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
Let's find
They
out.
didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
Who are the coalition? Let's find out who the coalition is.
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head.
Well, when you simplify things like that, I guess it's a very clean system.
That makes it pretty
Mineral
easy.
right?
At least not in the
Out of my
same
head.
manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Oh, they're like political Vikings. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am.
Not just technically, practically as well. I like what I've heard about these people.
If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not. That does sound pretty Chucky.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
Ooh, commentary on police action.
Ooh.
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
Please note that this game was released in 2019 before the events of the current year.
Yes.
But you could still replace that with COVID and Mazov with Bezos. So there you go. What did this Tsarath do?
Where did it spread from there?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
No way. No way.
Indeed, Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue.
It's like Kuru.
The actual
Khufu.
causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next? By the way, if this is the script for how it's going to go
Right.
for us, yikes.
You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar.
Our lives are not the same.
What is the zone of control?
What's happened in the rest of the world? Remember to
Modernity.
proceed
They
eliminates
developed
options.
the
I know.
marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
It's been like this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
What have we been doing all this time?
That's it then. Another topic. No, what have we been doing this whole time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
Socrates.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Hey.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
Say nothing. No, I'm going with
I've
that.
no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Let's find out.
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all this?
I would have sought a medical solution. Sounds like Tazaroth drove those people mad. That's not how you say that.
I like your version, though. I would have killed more. 400 million, if that's what it took.
I would have made off with the mineral rights.
I don't know what I've done differently.
It seems
Try
like
one.
And I asked you, past less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Her volition's higher than yours. All right, now the actual choice.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters.
Probably.
Happily.
No way. I wouldn't have fought with the communards.
The wind stops. There is silence on the
I
dark
feel like that's
water
the funnier
of
one.
Martinez Inlet.
And true for him. He would have said some shit like that.
Then you would have died fighting against them. Long before the beachhead, our time is a shadow cast by that day.
So, 43 years of disrepair in this particular quarter of the city. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Just permanent cracks and shit peeling and breaking down everywhere. What a downer.
That does
They are
suck.
what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Let's pause here for the second, because this conversation will continue, very likely in the next episode.
Oh, yes, most definitely on the next episode. So for Grime and Game, I'm Nutchucks.
Probably.
See you guys next time.